Welcome to the Purple Party, known as Purple Nerd Channel, a home for all those who geek out on all things Prince related. The Black Album was originally scheduled to be released on December 8th, 1987, but canceled by Prince on December 1st, leaving a little over 100 copies surviving, mainly in Europe and a few in the United States, making this one of the most bootlegged albums of all time. The album technically has no title and is not credited to anyone, but was given the nickname The Black Album due to its all-black cover and black sleeve, the only printing on the album being the catalog number on the spine. Prince creates several characters throughout the songs, either by using his own voice naturally or technically with a pitch shifter, and at sometimes he even experiments with different accents. Prince tried a similar concept with the abandoned project Camille, which I did a video on, and I will have a link to that video at the end of this video. The album is notorious for its violent subject matter and dark humor matched with a very moody soundscape, although still at this time being one of the most funkiest albums of his career. As the legend goes, Prince had a spiritual awakening and canceled the album because he believed it was evil. Some say this spiritual awakening was a bad trip off of ecstasy, making him see the devil in the music. Others claim that his new muse, Ingrid Chavez, awakened him spiritually, making him realize that he had let these evil thoughts take over his music.
The night that we met, he canceled the Black Album.
Prince would further define this evil on the album Lovesexy, which replaced this project. On Lovesexy, he gives this evil a name, that name being Spooky Electric, an evil entity that possesses the notes of the music as well as the composer themselves. During the recording and compiling of this project, Prince was in a really dark place. Over the past year, he had disbanded the Revolution, broken off his engagement to his fiancée, recorded a triple album only to be told by his label that he needs to make it a double album, and his concert film Sign of the Times was not doing very well at the box office. The working title of this project was The Funk Bible, as Prince was snapping back at his critics who had claimed that he had lost his blackness with the previous album Sign of the Times, as they accused him of catering to a white audience with pop music, and ridiculed the album for not having a focus of R&B and funk like he did on his earlier releases. Which makes me ask those who made these outrageous claims about Sign of the Times, were we listening to the same album? I mean, yeah, he did expand into different genres of music, which he did on every album prior to Sign of the Times, but as far as the R&B and funk, I mean, the R&B was there and the funk was definitely there. Knowing that copies of the Black Album were still floating around, Prince had the message "Don't buy the Black Album, I'm sorry" scroll by on the video for Alphabet Street. And on the Love Symbol album, Prince had a similar message hidden in the liner notes and the lyric booklet. After all this though, Warner Brothers would go and officially release the Black Album on November 22nd, 1994, and even though it was only released 3 months after Prince's album Come, it still managed to peak at number 47 on the Billboard Top 200 and number 18 on the R&B charts, and this was with no videos or singles released. Prince allowed the release because contractually it gave him another album to fulfill his contract with Warner Brothers that he was trying to get out of at the time. Monetarily, they paid him $1 million to release it, and they agreed to his terms of only having it available for 3 months before taking it out of print. Warner Brothers actually tried to release this in 1991 and package it with like a greatest hits collection, but then Prince released Diamonds and Pearls on them and they forgot about that. So let's dive into this darkness as we open up with the first song, Le Grind. There's a lower voice that welcomes you to the Funk Bible, which again was the working title for this project. Before we get Prince with a slightly altered voice and an accent, introducing us to a new dance called Le Grind. This is a party anthem of a song deeply engulfed in the funk fun, with Prince encouraging us to move up and down like a pony would. Up next is Cindy C. In this song, Prince plays a stalker of the model Cindy Crawford, who thinks he can buy his way into a sexual relationship with her. I believe that your furry melting thing is the most off-the-wall metaphor for lady parts. Kat borrows lines from J.M. Silk's song, Music is the Key for her rap, Music is the key for you and me to unlock the Unbeknownst to Prince, next is Dead on It.
When you got a blue bonnet and the to and fro's funky when the grease is dead on it.
Now then, I briefly talked about this song while talking about Prince's relationship with hip hop on the video I did for MC Hammer's album Too Legit to Quit. And of course, I will have a link for that video at the end of this video so you can get that full discussion. This song is notorious for being misinterpreted as the song where Prince disses rap music. And if you believe that, then you don't know anything about hip hop. Prince is not dissing rap music in this song. Prince is dissing whack rappers, or what he calls in the song, silly rappers. Do you remember hip hop in 1986 and 1987? I mean, like 90% of the content were rappers bragging about how they were better than other rappers. And a lot of times they would even call out other rappers by name. And Prince is simply doing that here. And for this time period in hip hop, I have to say that lyrically, Prince actually holds his own. And you have to remember, this is before the 90s when rappers would go and actually hire an R&B singer to sing their hooks. Back during this time period, rappers would actually go and attempt to sing their own hooks, and Prince goes hard on those particular artists. Next is When Two Are in Love. This was the last song recorded for this project, and it really stands out as it doesn't really fit the dark funk mood of the other songs, as if Prince had worked out most of his anger and bravado by the time he recorded this track. It's a beautiful ballad that at times reads lyrically like erotic poetry. This was actually the only song that Prince kept off this album when he went and did Lovesexy, and apparently he liked it so much that not only did he include it on Lovesexy, but he also included on the Scandalous Sex Suite, released in 1989. There's actually a longer version of this song. When I say longer, I mean it's like a minute longer, that still remains in the vault. Up next is Bob George.
Don't you know I will kill you now? You're fucking right. I got a gun.
In this song, Prince plays a character who is vulgar and ultra-violent as he murders his woman in the song for allegedly stepping out on him with a man named Bob George, who just happens to manage rock stars, and one of those rock stars just happens to be Prince. And I find it hilarious that his character refers to Prince as
that skinny motherfucker with the high voice.
Prince has a field day with his Fairlight CMI sampler, as there's all kinds of sound effects throughout this song. Next is Superfunkadifragilisexy. This song has a fantastical name as it's obviously a play on the Mary Poppins song, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. The song opens up with a devilish laugh. Before describing what some people believe is a long night of dancing and partying while taking a whole bunch of ecstasy. Next is the instrumental of the album. This song is part of a 2-day jam session that he did with Sheila E. on drums. It started with the gospel song Walking in Glory, which engineer Susan Rogers describes as one of Prince's church songs. As when he would record something really vulgar, he would typically follow it up with recording a church song as almost as what she believes is a way for him to redeem himself. Prior to recording Walking in Glory, he recorded the song Bob George. The opening dialogue was performed by Prince and Cat and was the last thing they recorded for this track. Up next is Rock Hard in a Funky Place.
It's written all over your face, just rock hard in a funky place.
This is a song where Prince describes trying to play it cool around a beautiful woman while fighting off your uncontrolled arousal. This was also the closing song for the abandoned Camille project, and on the song, Prince actually makes fun of using this as a closing song on the song itself. I first heard this album in 1994 when it was officially released, and knowing that Prince stopped the album because he deemed it evil, I was prepared for something just diabolical and sinister. But in 1994, this really wasn't that bad. I mean, during this time period, we already got gangster rap, horrorcore, and death metal. So to me, I found this album to be pretty tamed. I mean, I honestly think that Come was more vulgar and dealt with darker subject matter than this project, and it was released a few months earlier in 1994. But if you could imagine this being released in 1987, it would probably have been shocking, and it might have been banned and pulled off the shelves because people like to, overreact to things back then. Overall, it's a really cool album, super funky, and honestly, without it, we wouldn't have got the album Lovesexy. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Please like and share this video, and if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. And if you got some time on your hands, go ahead and check out my Patreon page. I'll have links to all that down below. And until the next episode, I wish you heaven.